Oh, yes. I'm saved. Oh, this? Pretty neat, huh? It's a side effect of eating Bugsnax.
Bugsnax is a child-friendly monster hunting collectathon, a lot like Pokemon, designed to sort of introduce you to this colourful world full of creatures called Grumpuses, who are, I guess, the surrogate humans of this universe. And there's a mystery around an island called Snacksburg, which is infested with living snacks called Bugsnax. So the premise is really simple. You're a reporter, you're sent to the island to go and write a story about the Bugsnax, and it turns into kind of a mystery about the disappearance of the island's leader, Elizabeth Megafig, and her girlfriend, Eggabell. As you go through the game, you meet all the different colourful characters and learn their backstories, and eventually you find out what happened to the leader of the island. Now, the game does have a pretty sinister and dark twist. However, it's not so dark that it's not really suitable for children. You know, while it's a child-friendly game on the surface, there is that sort of dark undertone lurking throughout. You definitely get the feeling that whatever's happened to these two characters is definitely not a good thing, and it all comes full circle at the end. Like, even me, I was live streaming the end of the game, and even I was very taken aback by how very fast and how very rapidly that dark twist sort of set in. You realise just how messed up the truth actually is. I'm not going to go into it because not everyone's played the game, and in my opinion it's definitely worth it. I managed to get a good 20 hours out of it. It's pretty easy platinum as well, so if you are into trophy hunting, it's a pretty easy platinum for you to get your hands on. The Bugsnax themselves are pretty charming and pretty cute. Some of them are just reskins of others, which is absolutely fine because the actual variety in the Bugsnax is pretty impressive. There's actually a decent amount of them that aren't just reskins, and then you've got the reskins as well, which just sort of add on top. It also gives a layer of diversity as well to the creatures that inhabit this island. There's a lot of creative ones as well. Like, who would have put a moth and a pizza together? That's one of the legendary Bugsnax. Moths are supreme. On top of the variety of Bugsnax you've also got these things called legendary Bugsnax as well. All in all, there's 4 of them, and these just sort of add to the kind of complexity of the game. They're not simple Bugsnax. There's literally just one of these dotted throughout the map, and you've got to complete various tasks to actually get to the point where you get to fight these things. And fighting them actually is a boss battle in and of itself. There's going to be ways that you can actually fight these things before you get a chance to actually catch them. For example, you've got Daddy Cake Legs, which will involve setting it on fire because it's a birthday cake, setting it on fire to light the candles, and then doing whatever else after that, doing some damage to it. It'll regroup, it'll start fighting again. You got to again set it on fire to light the candles and that sort of thing. Moths are supreme as well. You've got to launch explosives at the thing and knock it out of the sky, and then hit it with some things in the desert. You got something called Mega Maki as well, which is like a load of sushi. You've got to sort of trip it with the tripwire and take all of its pieces out in the time before it regroups, and things like that. And so there's these legendary Bugsnax as well, which just adds so much complexity to the gameplay and actually the Bugsnax that are available in the game. Legendary Bugsnax are probably my favourite aspect of the game, the most unexpected aspect of the game, because I didn't think it was going to just sort of add that depth, I guess. The characters themselves are pretty likeable. You know, they've all got their reasons for being on the island, and you get to explore their backstories and things like that as the game goes on. And the conflicts between the characters, as they are all very sort of clashing personalities. Even the 2 brothers in the game have very clashing personalities, and you get to sort of explore those and the resolutions to the issues that all these characters are having towards the end of the game, where they all have to sort of work together. Again, trying not to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't played it, but yeah, the resolution has to come, and you have to be the one to facilitate that. And you do that by completing their extra side missions, and the more side missions you do, the easier you'll find the finale of the game. If you haven't completed the side missions, like I hadn't to begin with, again, without spoiling anything, you're going to walk away with less than you would like to, I guess, is a way of putting it without spoilers. I'll put spoilers at the end of the video, I guess, and I'll timestamp them for anyone who doesn't want spoilers. But for the start of the video, I'm going to completely avoid spoilers. So I'll go into detail what I mean by that in a bit. The story itself is very interesting and engaging. I personally was very interested in finding out why Elizabeth and Eggabell had gone missing, and I wanted to explore that. And throughout the game you get these clues, video diaries, and hearsay from the different characters as you start to piece it together. And the game also raises sort of environmental concerns as well. Characters such as Gramble doesn't like to eat Bugsnax. He doesn't want to, although you can, I guess, force him to eat them in his sleep, because he sleepwalks, so you can force him to eat these things he doesn't want to eat and wants to keep them as pets while he sleeps. Morally and ethically, I guess, not really the greatest moves to do, but you can do that if you so choose. And also deals with hypocrisy as well, with one of the characters literally saying that these things are evil and can't resist the taste of them herself, as she starts denying that she's ever eaten them, even though her body parts are literally turning into these food items. You know, she's very obviously lying. So hypocrisy as well is another theme that is explored in this game, as well as when does science go too far. There is one character called Floofty who is literally a mad scientist. He's actually insane, and at one point he's willing to cut off his own head in the name of science, and has to be talked out of it by his brother. So these different dynamics are what make these characters feel interesting. I have to talk about it as well. I know some people might get a bit in the comments, but I have to talk about it as well. I'm very, very impressed with the representation of LGBT in this game. For example, you've got the main characters that have gone missing. Elizabeth and Eggabell are a gay couple. They are two females in a relationship with each other. And you've also got the characters of Chanlo and Snorpy as well, who are a male gay couple that are together, which is a hilarious plot point running throughout the game. It's very obvious that they have feelings for each other and they won't admit it to each other, and there's a really funny conversation in the final mission that had me laughing when I first saw it, when you realise the secret dynamic of their relationship, in that they've been together for years and Snorpy didn't actually realise it, but Chanlo did. It's just funny the way it comes across. And also they refer to Floofty as well as they a lot rather than he or she. So I get the feeling that that's kind of non-binary as well. So again, that's really interesting to see something like that in a game like this. And I know people say, oh, things like that feel forced. It doesn't feel forced in this game. It feels organic. It just feels like these things are never their personalities. They're always just a part of their personalities, if that makes sense. They've all got these other characteristics that make them who they are. Like, for example, like I said, Floofty is a mad scientist who just so happens to go by they pronouns. Chanlo is a gym bro who happens to be gay. Snorpy is a scientist, much less insane than his brother, who also just happens to be gay. Lisbeth is an explorer who just happens to be gay. Eggabell is very insecure. I identified with Eggabell a lot more than any other character. She's very insecure. She's very doubtful of herself, and then towards the end of the game you see this more confident Eggabell that is willing to call out Lisbeth's shit and all that sort of thing. And it's a fantastic character development that only a character written the way she has been could actually pull off. And it's a very, very it's a very satisfying conclusion to her character arc. The end of the game definitely sets up for a sequel. If you've ever got the perfect ending for this game, you'll know what I'm on about. Sets up for a sequel perfectly, and definitely continues with that dark undertone. I'll get into spoiler territory in a minute. Overall, yeah, the bug catching aspect of the game is fun. Every single Bugsnax has a different way of catching it. Some of them are really simple, go up to it and throw your bug catching trap and catch them as they walk into it. Other ones are a bit more complicated. For example, sometimes there are several Bugsnax in one and you've got to use your tripwire to knock them out, or other ones are jumping from trees, so you've got to find a way of knocking them out of the tree. Bunga as well is a very, very popular Bugsnax, and you've got to find a way of getting one Bunga to knock out the other Bunga so you can catch that. So there's all these different sort of challenges, and each Bugsnax has its own unique way of getting caught. Obviously the palette swap ones will generally be the same process as the other ones, but overall it leaves you guessing sometimes. Sometimes you'll look at a Bugsnax and go, how the hell am I meant to get that? But then you work it out and you'll feel this sort of sense of accomplishment when you actually do it. You've also got this Pokedex ripoff, which is called the Bugpedia, I think it's called, where it'll literally catalogue all the Bugsnax you've seen and all the ones you've caught, and obviously you want to try and catch them all. So overall, Bugsnax, very, very enjoyable game. If you have not picked it up yet, I definitely recommend you do. It is an absolute silent classic of the early PS5 days, and I'm actually looking forward to the sequel when that finally comes out. So I'm about to go into spoiler territory now. The rest of the video is going to be spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers and you want to go and play the game, click off the video now. If you don't care about spoilers or you've already played the game, stick around because I'm about to go into spoiler territory. So the game puts into perspective the entire game. It starts off very colourful, very happy, very fantasy-like, and then the whole thing just comes crashing down when you realise these things are evil. Bugsnax are evil. They are addictive. They are parasites. They will take you over. I mean, my reaction when my live stream, when I finish streaming this, when I finish this game, says it all.
It's disgusting once you understand what Bugsnax really are. They're parasites. They get inside you and they change you, your body and your mind. They make you want them, and before you know it, you become them. It's not that simple. They're insidious, patient. You'll show them a weakness and they'll exploit it. What you see here, this is what's left of everybody who came before us. Of every living thing that wasn't Bugsnax. They always win.
What? Am I watching right now?
Wait, how did you lose your eye?
I'm slightly at a loss for words. That's a good question.
And again, the fact that Eggabell sacrifices herself essentially to stay with Lisbeth, again, is just another reason why their relationship just doesn't feel forced, and it's a very sort of satisfying ending for both characters. And I hope that we get to see them in the sequel to try and save them if we can. But if you've got the perfect ending and you've not had any of the characters die, then you'll know what I'm on about when I say that it sets up for the sequel. That mysterious phone call, the reporter that fired you for trying to write the story gets that phone call, yeah, they made it out alive, and that Strabby comes off the boat. I mean, I'm looking forward to the sequel. They've set up, the second game is definitely going to be a lot darker. We're going to know going into it that there's something evil going on. There's an evil organisation somewhere. These Bugsnax aren't just a natural thing. They are being orchestrated by some evil, malevolent force behind the scenes. So that's going to be an interesting thing to explore as well. The light-hearted, fun undertones in the second game will probably be very different. It will probably be dark from the start because we are aware that these things are evil, and I'm hoping that we get some sort of Bugsnax invasion on the mainland, which would be Jurassic Park 2-esque. So I'm kind of hoping they go down that route with it and actually have a Bugsnax invasion in the mainland. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not here to officially make predictions on Bugsnax 2. I just want to talk about how much I actually enjoyed this game. This game has been probably the PS5 game I've spent the most on my console, actually, to be fair, to date. I finally jumped into Spider-Man Miles Morales and all sorts of different things. But Bugsnax was the first one that I really dove into. So yeah, I really enjoyed Bugsnax. I just wanted to make this video to let you know that if you haven't played it, you should play it. The entire game from start to finish is really enjoyable. It's very fun, light-hearted, and then has that seriously dark undertone that just develops and develops as the story goes on. So if you've played the game, you know what I'm on about. This game is very fun. It's very charming. All the characters are very, very relatable and likable. And it's genuinely heartbreaking in the final act when you don't save them and they die. I had to go back through, finish off all their quests, which you get a serious help for, by the way. Once you've finished off all their quests and then you go into the final mission, you get serious help to try and actually finish the game with the good ending. So I just had to go back and save them all because I didn't want any of them to die. So drop a comment in the comment section below. Have you played Bugsnax? Have you not played Bugsnax? If you have played it, let me know what you thought of the game. If you haven't played it, tell me if you're going to go ahead and play it after this video. Don't forget to subscribe as well. I'm a small-time YouTuber, so any support is greatly appreciated. I try to upload it on here as much as I possibly can, but juggling family and all sorts of things, it's not always possible to get the videos up as much as I would like them to. But head on over to twitch.tv/Gems of Thunder as well, because I like to live stream multiple times a week, although I don't officially have a set schedule because I never stick to it anyway. But don't forget to go follow me on there as well. Subscribe to me here on YouTube, and let's get a conversation going. Let's talk about Bugsnax. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.
And, well, you still need to interview Lisper, right? So...
Our end is nigh.
What? End? Well, is that a metaphor, or...? Gotta move! Now! Are you okay, buddy? All right, I know this looks bad, but as long as we keep calm...
Our doom approaches. Pray to your gods, children.
It's the Queen of Bugsnax! She's rising from the depths to devour us all!
The Grandpanati aim to silence us for good. Their machinations are coming to fruition.
Now hold on, we're not gonna die because of some cult or monster.
That's right.
We're gonna die because the volcano's going off.
That's right. Wait, what?